Hi, I'm Dr. Antonio Graceffo, and welcome to China Economic Research, coming to you today from Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Now, a lot of people have been writing and asking me if coronavirus will cause a financial meltdown, which will crash China, crash the US, or even the world. My short answer is that I do not believe it will crash the US or the world economy, but China economy could be done very severe damage in the short run and possibly some permanent damage if global patterns of investing, financing, and manufacturing shift temporarily because of coronavirus, but then do not shift back to China afterwards. So, to reiterate, if the coronavirus outbreak runs long, it could do incredible and possibly permanent damage to the Chinese economy, but only temporary damage to US and world economies because supply chains and manufacturing will shift to other countries. And other than losing some percentage of consumer demand in a poorer China, we should be back to near normal after a temporary frictional loss of income as businesses make a global shift. I tell my students that the economy is like an ecosystem. There's a finite amount of stuff, there's a finite amount of money, and moving something from one takes it away from someone else. Certain countries, such as Vietnam, other Southeast Asian nations, and possibly even Mexico and India, will benefit from a restructuring of global supply chains. Many of the countries which could be alternative locations for US and global manufacturing, such as Mexico and Vietnam, are also countries which have special lower and even zero tariff agreements with the United States, making them even more attractive places to manufacture and export from. All right, let's take a look at some details. Coronavirus was first identified on December 1st, and as of February 13th, 2020, at 0151 GMT, coronavirus infections had reached 60,287, and deaths had reached 1,367. Now, by comparison, SARS lasted 6 months with 5,327 infections and 349 deaths. The 2015 MERS outbreak lasted 3 months and had 186 confirmed cases and 38 deaths. This means that as of today, there have been almost 12 times as many coronavirus infections as SARS. The worrying thing about this figure of 60,000 infections is that the number jumped by 15,000 yesterday. So in a single day, they suddenly had 15,000 more cases. Now, apparently, this had to do with a change in the way that the cases were tested, identified, and counted. And while that makes sense, it's still very worrying because the only information we have is from the Communist government of China. The CCP has a lockdown on the information. We only know what they're telling us. We do know that they lied about coronavirus in the beginning. We do know that they are still scouring social media and removing people's posts and even putting people in jail. We're trying to warn people about the coronavirus. So they're still locking down on information. We have no reason to believe that they're giving us accurate information. Now, the International Center for Infectious Disease has estimated that they believe that China is only able to identify 25% of the cases. They did not make an opinion on whether or not China was reporting accurately, but if this 60,000 figure only represents 1/4 of the cases, that's extremely scary. We just do not know, but we do know that it's 60,000 now, and that is just terrifying. With multiple provinces now instituting some sort of crackdown, quarantine, lockdown, we estimate that about 400 million people in China are under some type of lockdown or quarantine. And that number now exceeds the population of the United States and every other country on earth, with the exception of India. With so many people not going to work, China's economy is grinding to a halt. By some estimates, as much as 40% of the total economy is frozen. And the most pessimistic estimates are that China's GDP growth this quarter will be 0. Now, obviously, I would take all these numbers with a grain of salt, and even if they're true, and even if they're reported in the best of faith, they could all be argued, right? They could all be argued from other directions and calculated differently. But the salient takeaway here is that much of China is not at work and that the GDP is dropping. Just before this surge of 15,000 cases, Beijing had reported 3 consecutive days of decreasing new infections. And they reported this as if it were good news and it was happy and maybe we've hit a turning point and maybe we're about to come around the corner. Things are going to get better. But to contextualize this drop, the day before the surge, which was the third consecutive day of decrease, new infections still exceeded more than 2,000, which exceeded more than 1/3 of the total SARS epidemic in one day. And Beijing was calling that good news. And markets recovered slightly as investors bought into the new narrative that things were getting better and that maybe we'd rounded a corner and it was going to be over soon. Yesterday, before the surge, Xi Jinping issued a warning to local governments that steps they were taking to curb the virus were hurting the economy. He also suggested that some people go back to work if companies met certain requirements like wearing masks. Now, under any other circumstance, thousands of infections in a single day would be cause for alarm and to close down factories and have people stay at home. A reason why sending people back to work in China is particularly problematic is that much of China's GDP is dependent on hundreds of millions of Chinese migrant workers who move from the countryside to the city to work. And most of these people, as well as many permanent residents of the big cities, had returned home for the Chinese Lunar New Year celebration, even after the coronavirus had been diagnosed. So they most likely spread the disease to other parts of the country. Had the government told them to stay put, had there been a single government edict from the central government that said, stay put, don't come back to the city, don't come back to work, they could have halted or at least lessened the spread of the disease. But instead, there were piecemeal responses. Some factories telling people not to come back. Some companies saying they weren't going to reopen. Some companies told their workers to come back and self-quarantine. So all this movement of hundreds of millions of people again this week further spread the disease. Now, Xi Jinping was telling people yesterday that they could go back to work, or some of them could go back to work as long as companies agreed to wear masks. Now, I am a doctor, but I am not a medical doctor, so I do not know. So I did a bit of research. And what I understand from most of the research I've read is that the masks do not prevent the person who's wearing the mask from getting infected, but rather it prevents the spread of the disease because if an infected person wears the mask, then they don't spit or blow or breathe on other people. But the mask will only help prevent transmissions by people who are infected via, let's say, spit or breathing through the air. But we know now, or I believe that it has been relatively established or relatively accepted, that we can also get the virus from products, which is one of the reasons why, for example, I live in Mongolia. We've closed the border. We're not accepting any exports from China right now, not just food, but anything, because allegedly, if an infected person touches or breathes on an object and then you use that object, you can get sick. So you send people back to work and they're going to be handling tools in the factories. They're going to be handling machinery in the offices. They're going to be handling staplers and pencils and pens and coffee cups and computers. Can you get it from elevator buttons? I don't know. But the point is, people are going to be transmitting the disease in spite of wearing a mask. The mask will not protect against any of those kind of infections. And the other thing is that we know that you can get these type of infections through your eyes. You know, if you touch your eyes or you touch your face, you can get the infection. So unless they are wearing full body chem suits, including gloves and face masks and whatever, I don't see how sending them back to work wearing a mask is going to greatly reduce transmission of the disease. Remember, we don't need to greatly reduce it. We need to stop it completely. The other question I have about these masks is that people are wearing them, ostensibly, they're wearing them into environments where there is contagion. They are then going home, and what are they doing with these masks? Are they taking the mask into the house with them? Because if they are, then aren't they bringing all that contamination into their house? What are they then doing with the mask after they remove it? Are they putting it on the nightstand and wearing it again tomorrow? Are they destroying it with fire? Or are they just putting it in the trash can in their house, in the waste bin, and then infecting their house? So again, I just don't see that the masks are that much protection. And certainly, I think everyone will agree that going to work wearing the mask does not seem like a very good idea. But this is what he was encouraging yesterday. Then new cases jumped by 15,000. And I haven't seen anything today about him saying, well, let's go to work anyway. But this is just terrifying. And the other thing is that I'm seeing these videos are popping up all over the internet, and reports and stories, people waiting in line, waiting in these massive lines to go buy masks. And I'm thinking, these are in countries and places where public gatherings have been canceled because it's too dangerous to have people attending concerts and public events and sports events and whatever. Movie theaters are closed, and you can't do that. But then they're going to go stand in a line of thousands and thousands of people while they're waiting to buy a mask. So I think that a lot of the steps that people are taking to avoid contamination or actually causing contamination, it seems the best strategy is just to kind of stay home until we know it's safe to go out.